Make you now open your ear to correct news and entertainment with business opportunity with
analysis.
Ibr92.5 FM. We mean business.
In your business interest on IBR 92.5 FM.
You're right to know.
It is midday. Good afternoon. Here is the world news at a glance on Impact Business Radio, IBR 92.5 FM, Ibadan. First, the headlines. Former Edo State Commissioner for Education cautions West African Examination Council on mode of selecting supervisors. Federal government reiterates commitment to ensuring that Nigerians are gainfully employed. Assistant Inspector General of Police warns against illegal use of police uniform. And on the foreign scene, Zelensky urges Russian troops to surrender. Now the news and details. I am Anuluakpo Omoride. A former commissioner for education in Edo State, Ngozi Ozarere, has cautioned the West African Examination Council (WAEC) on the mode of selecting examination supervisors and markers of student scripts. She said the process is an important factor in checkmating the incidences of examination malpractices and upholding the sanctity of the regional examination body. Ozarere also advocated better remuneration for examination script markers. She noted that the appointing process of examination supervisors has to be neutral because the administration of question papers and answer script is directly under the purview of the supervisor, and that it creates a problem if the right efforts are not made. The managing director of the Nigeria Export Processing Zones Authority, Adeshoji Adeshuga, has reiterated the federal government's commitment towards ensuring that eligible Nigerians are gainfully employed across the country. Adeshuga noted that part of the measures put in place to achieve these is the creation of 43 free trade zones across the nation. He added that the trade zones will create employment opportunities and reduce youth restiveness in Nigeria, thereby ensuring the younger generations contribute meaningfully to nation building. To ensure the equitable access to COVID-19 vaccine in Nigeria and other African countries, the Nigerian network of NGOs, in collaboration with the Global Call to Action Against Poverty and in partnership with the People's Vaccine Alliance, has called on the federal government to support the waiver of intellectual property rules on all COVID-19 related technologies. The group, who made the call at a press conference, stated that 3 years into the pandemic, Africa and other developing countries have continued to see disparities in access to vaccine, which has prolonged the pandemic. The Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of Zone 17, Akure, Ondo State, Ene Okun, has warned the operatives of some private security outfits in the state to desist from illegal use of police uniform and equipment in their operations. The Assistant Inspector General of Police, who expressed displeasure over the alleged act of some private security outfits in Ondo and Ekiti State in illegally using police accoutrement, said the police will not hesitate to deal with the perpetrators henceforth, and he gave this warning in a statement issued in Akure, the Ondo State capital. He directed the Ondo and Ekiti State Police Commands, which are under his jurisdiction, to clamp down on defaulters who are presenting themselves as officers of the Nigerian Police Force. The Ogun State chapter of the Colleges of Education Academic Staff Union has called on the state government to address the infrastructural decay in the State College of Education, Tais Sholani College of Education. The National Vice President of the Union, Olusegun Lano, made this appeal while addressing newsmen in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. Lano disclosed that several letters have been written to the state government in the past on key issues of infrastructure gap, particularly at the College of Education. He decried that the institution has continued to suffer from years of neglect and poor funding, including several months of unpaid salaries spanning over 76 months.
While we commend His Excellency Prince Dapo Abiodun MFR for ensuring regular payment of salary and bringing the implementation up to 75%, there is need to fashion out agreeable solution to unfulfilled expectations on festering issues. We do not only have demands, we also have specific propositions that are sensitive to the financial constraints of government, which could provide a win-win solution to the age-long challenges. We are honestly calling for audience with the governor to present this. And of course, we've written series of letters, which perhaps because of the tight schedule of His Excellency went unreplied. We talk about long neglect and poor funding under successive administrations, leading to accumulation of unpaid fractions of salary spanning 76 months, unremitted pension contributions, promotions without financial effect, and several other demoralizing conditions.
On the foreign scene, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has called on Russian soldiers to surrender. In his nightly television address, he said Russian forces have suffered worse losses during the invasion of his country than in the Chechnya conflict. He noted that they have already begun to understand that they will not achieve anything by war. Zelensky, who also paid tribute to Marina Osiakiviva, the woman who interrupted Russian state television news by holding up anti-war sign, expressed gratitude to those Russians who do not stop trying to convey the truth and who fought disinformation. To end the news, another look at some of the major items. Former Edo State Commissioner for Education cautions West African Examination Council on mode of selecting supervisors. Federal government reiterates commitment to ensuring that Nigerians are gainfully employed. Assistant Inspector General of Police warns against illegal use of police uniform. And on the foreign scene, we told you that President Zelensky of the Ukraine has urged Russian troops to surrender. For comments, breaking news, happenings around your area, and suggestions, send your report to newsroom@Ibr92.5FM.com. You can also call or send a text message.